Hey everyone. In today's video, we're going to take a look at how to multiply by a complex conjugate. Now, first off, a complex conjugate is a number or a complex number that keeps the same real part and the same imaginary part, but contains the opposite sign or the opposite operation of what you have. Okay, so for example, what's a complex conjugate of 5 plus 3i? What that means is it would just be 5 minus 3i. Now, the importance of this is when you multiply by a complex conjugate, it becomes a real number. So, especially when we start rationalizing, you want to have that real number in the denominator, so you're going to be multiplying by the complex conjugate. So, let's take a look at a quick example of how to do that. Okay, we see we have 3 plus 4i, and if I was to multiply by 3 minus 4i, okay, that would give me a real number. Okay, now we see up here when we multiply our complex conjugate together, now we could FOIL this because they are two terms each, but instead of actually foiling it, what we could do is, this formula is much easier. It's just a squared plus b squared. Again, if I was to FOIL it, I would have four terms. I'd have to combine those like terms, and there'd be a lot more work to figure out there. But in this case, because we know we're multiplying by a complex conjugate, we could just use this formula, a squared plus b squared. Okay, so in our example, our a is 3, so it would just be 3 squared. Plus, okay, our b is just 4, not 4i, it's just 4 squared. Okay, you can see here the b is separate. There's no I in our final formula. Okay, so 3 squared is going to give us 9. 4 squared is going to give us 16. And our final answer here would be 25. Now again, the reason it's so important when you're multiplying by the complex conjugate, again, is because when you multiply a complex number times its conjugate, you will always get a real number, which again is super important when you're rationalizing, dividing with complex numbers.